It's that time of the year for me to share my massive list of upcoming RPGs, ARPGs, CRPGs, action adventures, a mix of all of them and a few outside of those genres for 2024 and beyond. Games with set release dates will be mostly in chronological order, but do note that some games without dates will probably come out before some that do have dates. Let's begin.
Life to the living, death to the dead.
Banishers Ghost of New Eden is a single-player, third-person, semi-open-world, narrative-driven action RPG set in 1695 New Eden. It is being developed by Don't Nod and published by Focus Entertainment, and its planned release date is February 13th, 2024 for PC and current-gen PlayStation and Xbox. I do have two games coming out before this one, but this one has really cool cinematics and is a fun way to start this video. In this game, you'll be hunting ghosts as two memorable characters in a story-driven game where your decisions will have dramatic consequences. Antia and Red are lovers and ghost banishers. But one disastrous mission would leave Antia fatally wounded, and she would become one of the spirits that she loathes. You'll be able to play as both of these characters as you battle supernatural forces with magic, weapons, and spiritual powers, with the goal of lifting a malevolent and ominous curse. There will be unlockable gear and abilities, ancient secrets to be found in a lore-rich world, and the developers are pushing hard to make it clear that there will be plenty of meaningful and morally ambiguous choices to make that will affect the story, the world, and the fate of all characters, dead or alive.
Factions, empires, gods, they rise and they fall. The actions of individuals set the course of history.
Unforetold Witchstone is a single-player, isometric, turn-based sandbox CRPG that takes place in the reactive lands of Calsundia, a new universe by Ed Greenwood, the creator of the Forgotten Realms. And for those unfamiliar, that is the setting that BG3 takes place in. Witchstone is being developed by Spearhead Games, and it has an early access launch date of January 25th, 2024 for PC. This one is an interesting one because Spearhead Games seems to be taking the Larian Studios approach for a CRPG, where if you think of something, you can probably do it. They even have a dialogue system where at times you can construct your own sentences. This game seems to really pride itself on its sandbox nature, where you get to choose who you want to help, what you want to do, and what you aim to achieve, and the non-linear narrative will react to that. Witchstone also features a deep character creation system. You'll be gathering your party, but there's actually no limitations as to who you can recruit. And of course, you'll be rolling for initiative in the game's turn-based combat system.
Flash is alive, and he's playing for Team Brainiac.
I gave you orders. Kill the Flash.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a single-player and up to four-person co-op third-person action-adventure shooter-fighter game set in the open-world city of Metropolis. The company behind this game is Rocksteady Studios, and it has a release date of January 30th for PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. In this game, you'll be discovering the origins of Amanda Waller's infamous task force, the Suicide Squad, which includes Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. You'll be embarking on your mission to take down the world's greatest DC superheroes, the Justice League. Each squad member will have their own unique moveset with enhanced traversal abilities to freely explore this dynamic open city, along with a variety of customizable weapons and skills to master. Persona 3 Reload is a single-player, third-person, turn-based RPG that takes place on Port Island. Is being developed by P Studio and published by Atlas. It's of course a remake of Persona 3, a beloved RPG that came out way back in 2006. It will be launching on PC and current and last-gen PlayStation and Xbox on February 3rd, 2024. Reload's worldview, story, and characters are said to be unchanged from the original. However, the game is being remade to take into account modern design and functionality, and will include cutting-edge graphics, modernized quality-of-life features, a signature stylish UI, as well as some new added scenes, character interactions, and additional voiceover. In this game, you'll be stepping into the shoes of a transfer student thrust into an unexpected fate when entering the hour hidden between one day and the next, and you'll be chasing the mysteries of the dark hour as you fight for your friends and leave a mark on their memories forever. You do get to build and command your optimal team and choose how to meaningfully spend each day, whether that be exploring Port Island or forging genuine bonds with important characters.
The Feywilds await, and so too Nightingale.
Nightingale is a first and third person single or multiplayer open world PvE survival crafting game that takes place in mysterious and dangerous Fey realms. It is being developed by Inflection Games and will be launching into early access for PC on February 22nd. And yes, I understand this is not an RPG or action adventure, but there's a few crafting survival type games that I think merge a few genres together, and a lot of you may be interested in them. In Nightingale, you'll be stranded beyond our world and cut off by the collapse of the Arcane Portal network. And this has left you fighting to survive in a labyrinth of beautiful and dangerous Fey realms, where your goal will be to become a skilled realm walker, allowing you to navigate the web of transdimensional portals to find your way to the last bastion of humanity, the magical city of Nightingale. You can adventure solo or play cooperatively with up to 6 players in an online shared world PvE realm space. Expect to be gathering and crafting as you work to assemble equipment and weapons needed to survive, as well as enhancing your gear with magical properties. This game also features a very impressive looking building and managing system where you'll be able to design and construct estates from a variety of styles and tile sets. You can even recruit NPCs to work for you to help you expand your homestead or automate productions and assist in resource gathering. The next two on this list are both PS5 launch exclusives, so if you want to jump ahead, just pull ahead to Zoria.
The world's ending. At least, that's what everyone's saying.
This sky, I don't like it.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a third-person, single-player RPG that takes place on the planet. It is being developed by Square Enix, and it's scheduled to release for PS5 on February 29th. Rebirth is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project, a reimagining of the iconic original game from 1997. After escaping from the dystopian city of Midgar, Cloud and his friends will set out on a journey across the planet in search of Sephiroth. This will bring players across an expansive, mysterious world where, as you explore, new exciting areas will open up to be discovered. This game features an evolved battle system where players will combine strategic thinking with action combat alongside their comrades, which includes newly added characters. The more you deepen your relationships with your comrades, the more powerful team-based combos will unlock.
It is said that time marches to the beat of a drum. A fleeting moment can feel like a lifetime for those caught in its deadly rhythm.
Rise of the Ronin is a third-person, single-player open-world action adventure set in 1863 Japan. It is being developed by Team Ninja and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, and has a release date of March 22nd for PS5. I didn't want to include too many PS5 exclusives as this is mostly a PC channel, but this is Team Ninja here, the studio behind the successful Neo series, and it will probably come to PC at some point. In Rise of the Ronin, you'll be embarking on an epic journey across a war-torn 19th century Japan. Amidst the chaos of war, disease, and political unrest, a nameless warrior, you the player, a customizable character, will be forging your path as you hold the fate of Japan in your hands. A key feature of this game is the ability to shape the story, as it will unfold in different ways depending on the choices you make and the characters you choose to befriend. Clearly, combat is a huge focus of this game, and it is said to have a deeply engaging yet accessible combat system with layers of complexity suitable for any playstyle, from close quarters combat to engaging from afar with authentic period firearms. Zoria Age of Shattering is a single-player, isometric, turn-based, party-based, story-driven RPG set in the expansive fantasy world of Zoria. It is being developed by Tiny Trinket Games, and it's planned to release on March 7th, 2024 for PC, but possibly also consoles at a later date. Do note that there is a demo currently available on Steam. In this game, you'll be controlling a party of 4, with each hero having their own unique skills and perks, and you'll be leading your squad across the continent facing up against countless groups of monsters and bosses. Expect exploration across lush and grim environments alike, a dynamic turn-based combat system, and even a base management system. You will have to regularly update your base by unlocking new wings and upgrading buildings, and doing so can reward you with resources, quests, and items.
From this moment forth, thou art arisen.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is a single-player, narrative-driven, third-person action RPG and one of my personal most anticipated games. Being developed by Capcom, and it has a release date of March 22nd of 2024 for PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. Players will be assuming the role of the Arisen, much like the first game, tasked with defeating the dragon. Dragon's Dogma 1 was a bit of a cult classic, and it was highly praised for its engaging action combat system, and DD2 does not look like it's going to disappoint in that category. Players will be customizing their Arisen, choosing their vocation, as well as choosing their party. The pawn system is a big part of what makes Dragon's Dogma unique, and pawns in this game are AI-controlled companions that will help your Arisen not only in combat, but also in quest knowledge. This game is a single-player game, but you can actually hire other players' pawns through the pawn network. Expect plenty of important story characters and, of course, an array of terrifying, brutal monsters, some of which you may be able to cop a ride on.
Alron, a storied continent of myriad nations.
Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is a single-player, turn-based RPG designed to bring players a modern take on a classic JRPG experience, and it is a spiritual successor to the Suikoden franchise. The developers behind this game are Rabbit and Bear Studios, and it's being published by 505 Games with a release date of April 23rd, 2024 for PC, current and last-gen PlayStation and Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. This game features a deep narrative where you'll be able to lead over 100 plus playable characters through a war-torn world that only you can save. You'll be following 3 unique protagonists who come together to change the world, and along the way meeting those 100 potential allies, each revealing deeper truths. Aside from its regular turn-based tactical combat, this game will also feature a war mode where you'll be overseeing battlefields to strategize and command with foresight. There's also your headquarters where your heroes convene to quell the war. Each new ally revitalizes the town with added pastures, fields, and facilities. Black Myth Wukong is a single-player, third-person, open-world, perhaps semi-open world depending on your definition of that, action RPG based on the classic Chinese tale, Journey to the West. This game is being developed by Chinese developer Game Science, and it has a release date of August 20th, 2024 for PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. In this game, you'll be playing as the Destined One, who is known for his incredible speed and his ability to transform into various animals and objects, and apparently also bugs. As the Destined One, you shall encounter powerful foes and worthy rivals throughout your journey, and you'll fearlessly engage with them as surrendering is not an option here. This game seems to combine environmental exploration and utilization along with its Souls-like combat. I gotta admit, the gameplay footage that we've seen looks quite impressive. Aside from mastering various staff techniques, you'll also be able to combine different spells, abilities, weapons, and equipment to find the winning strategy that best suits your preferred combat style.
The most fearsome, tenacious, and relentless bloody men and women that ever crossed the stars.
Warhammer 40k Space Marine is a single or up to 3-player cooperative third-person shooter hack and slash. This game is being developed by Saber Interactive and published by Focus Entertainment. It has a release date of September 9th, 2024 for PC, current-gen PlayStation, and Xbox. Do keep in mind that even though we are towards the end of 2024 in this video with specific release dates, many games that are still coming in this video are also 2024, they just don't have a specific date. In Space Marine 2, you'll be assuming the role of a Space Marine, the greatest of the Emperor's warriors. The Imperium needs you, and as you can probably tell, there's going to be hordes of enemies coming at you, and you'll have to unleash your deadly abilities and an arsenal of devastating weaponry to obliterate these hordes. As you progress, you will be uncovering dark secrets and driving back the everlasting night to prove your ultimate loyalty to humanity.
Where are you going? No! Not into the Shroud! No way! You're not ready for this, boss. He'll squash you.
Enshrouded, according to the devs, is a single-player or up to 16-player co-op third-person survival action RPG. It is being developed by Keen Games and has an early access release date of January 24th of 2024 for PC. I just didn't want to start this video with an early access game, and Nightingale took up my early video survival slot. In Enshrouded, you are a Flameborn, the last ember of hope of a dying race, and you must survive the terror of a corrupting fog to reclaim the lost beauty of your kingdom. This game features a vast world where you'll be journeying through its biomes to immerse yourself in vibrant fallen cultures and ancient myths. There is an in-depth skill system that allows you to develop your own unique combat playstyle. There's of course a gathering and crafting system allowing you to create legendary armor and weapons. And another big feature of this game is its building system, allowing you to create grand architecture on an epic scale if that's what you want to attempt. I did play the demo, and it even lets you make tunnels underground, which was pretty cool. If you're enjoying this video so far, I really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Let's move on to games that now have a 2024 release timeframe.
My sister fair, she sings like morning.
No Rest for the Wicked is a single or up to 3-player co-op isometric action RPG that takes place on the harsh shores of Isola Sacra. This game is being developed by Moon Studios and published by Pirate Division, and it's launching into early access in Q1 of 2024 for PC, with a full release plan to also bring the game to current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. This game says that it's a visceral precision action RPG that's set to reinvent the genre. The king of this fantasy land has died, and the crown has been passed on to his arrogant son. All the while, an unholy plague not seen for 1,000 years has returned to the land, corrupting everything that it touches. You'll be playing as Serum, a member of a group of mystical holy warriors imbued with remarkable powers. The combat system is brutal precision-based, to where you'll need to hone your combat skills with a system that challenges you to be deliberate and strategic. Weapons will have their own weights and speeds and movesets. You'll be enchanting equipment with runes, crafting rare armor, and creating your character to suit your preferred playstyle. This is a handcrafted world with a dark, mature narrative, and the co-op is of course offered online. You can even purchase property in this game. You can fish, you can till and harvest the land for ingredients, and much more. Robinhood Sherwood Builders is a single-player, third-person action-adventure RPG with city-building elements, and do remember, everyone, that I'm describing these games' genres the way that they are advertised by the devs. This game is being developed by Mean Astronauts and published by Playway, and its current release timeframe is Q1 of 2024. In Sherwood Builders, you'll be taking on the role of the classic hero Robin, who stands up to the tyranny and injustice that haunts Sherwood. You'll be fighting, hunting, crafting, and stealing to help yourself and the local people thrive in spite of the sheriff and his ruthless regime. This will take place within an open world environment that can be freely explored. You'll start your adventure with building just a little forest camp, which will eventually be expanded to a village size, and it'll be your job to take care of this settlement by managing the community members, professions, their tasks, training them, etc. You'll also be meeting legendary characters such as Lady Marian, Little John, Friar Tuck, and more.
They say what goes up must come down.
Broken Roads is a single-player, narrative-driven, isometric, turn-based, post-apocalyptic RPG that is set in Australia. Being developed by a company by the name of Drop Bear Bites, and it's set to release on PC sometime in early 2024. And do note that as of right now, there is a free demo available on Steam. In this game, you'll be controlling a party of up to 5 members and making your way across a desolated future Australia. This game features authentic Australian locations, plenty of beautiful hand-drawn artwork, a blend of traditional and original RPG mechanics, and a really unique morality system which will influence dialogue, quests, and character development. The morality system is a big feature here, and it works off of what the game calls the moral compass, which focuses on a character's philosophical leaning, allowing players to shape their protagonist's worldview in unique and nuanced ways. Definitely an interesting one for those who like deep narratives and CRPGs.
Our world is in chaos.
The gods and their armies of the dead seek to rule over everything we call home.
Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn is a single-player, third-person open-world action RPG where you will join humanity's last stand as gods and guns collide. This game is being developed by A44 Games and published by Kepler Interactive, and it currently has a release time frame of Q3 of 2024 for PC and current and, I think, last gen also, PlayStation and Xbox. In Flintlock, you'll be playing as Nor Vanek, a member of the Coalition Army, who has a personal vendetta against the gods. Nor also has a companion named Enki, or it's a species, I don't know, which is a strange creature gifted with magical powers. The idea behind the story is that the living are on the brink of extinction, and it's up to the Coalition Army to retake their world from the gods' army of the undead. As you can see, this game has somewhat of a God of War inspired combat system, and according to the Steam page, the combat is demanding yet rewarding, and you should expect to be blending axe, gunplay, magic, and more all together. It is an open world game, so expect to be journeying through desert lands, cavernous ruins, and finding plenty of secrets that lie in the City of Dawn.
In the sound of the silence, I can move like the wind. With the eyes on my target.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is a single-player, mostly first-person action RPG that takes place in a 21st century Seattle, Washington. It's being developed by The Chinese Room and published by Paradox Interactive, and has a planned release time of fall of 2024. In Bloodlines 2, you'll be descending into Seattle's dark heart as a thin-blood vampire, and you'll be attempting to survive the vampire elite as various clans seek to gain ultimate power. You can choose to be brutal and unflinching, or cultured and seductive, as you use charms, cunning, terror, and sheer will to rise through this vampiric society. Expect reactive storytelling, brutal combat, and of course plenty of blood-sucking. This game's development has been through quite the drama and mystery over the years, but I only hear good things about the first game, so let's hope that The Chinese Room and Paradox can pull this one off. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon is an upcoming single-player first-person open-world RPG set in the world of Tainted Grail, a gritty, dark reimagination of Arthurian legend. The company behind this game is Questline, and it's being published by Awaken Realms, the studio behind the Fall of Avalon board game. Its current release time frame is sometime in Q4 of 2024, but do note that it's currently available for purchase in early access, and it even has a free demo available to try on Steam. The devs are aiming for a release on PC and current-gen PlayStation and Xbox. The Fall of Avalon is a game full of complex quests in which your decisions matter and your choices are respected. King Arthur is dead, and humans living in Avalon are desperately trying to find new ways of life, but the plague of Red Death is creating chaos for the multiple factions. You will be creating your own character and exploring this dark world with full freedom. I have played early access, and it does have that Elder Scrolls feel. You will be choosing your playstyle, whether that's close combat, bow and arrow, magic, stealth, and more. And there's even cooking, brewing potions, lockpicking, mining, and fishing. Avowed is a single-player first and third person, I'm going to say semi-open world RPG set in the fantasy world of Aora, the same world that the Pillars of Eternity series takes place in. This game is being developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios, and it's scheduled for a 2024 release date for PC and current-gen Xbox. In Avowed, you'll be playing as an envoy of the Kingdom of Adir, and you're sent to the far-off island known as the Living Lands to investigate rumors of a spreading plague. You do get to customize your own character, and there will of course be swords, rune magic, and archery, and you can even mix some of those together. The game will also likely feature an in-depth dialogue system if we go off of some of Obsidian's past games. Also expect to meet companions along the way that will join you on some of your quests. Much of this game is still shrouded in a bit of mystery, but Obsidian did tell us to expect something in scope comparable to the Outer Worlds. Forsaken Realms Vahrin's Call is a single-player, third-person, semi-open world action RPG set in the beautiful world of Leda. company behind this game is Titan Rock, and they were initially planning for a 2023 release date. That has now been pushed into what I would assume is 2024, as I do know that they are in the beta stage for the game. It will be launching on PC with plans to bring it to consoles at a later date. As you can see with the gameplay and the atmosphere, this one's giving off a bit of a Fable vibe. It will be story driven, and you'll be playing as a mercenary who is now one of the few remaining defenders of the great city of Vahrin, which has been taken over by a great threat. The cool thing about this one is that Titan Rock is planning on making a few Forsaken Realms games, so if Vahrin's Call goes well, I would expect plenty of more titles that feed into this continent-spanning narrative. In Vahrin's Call, expect to be tailoring your apparel, weapons, imbues, spells, and skills to match your ideal playstyle, and of course using all of that to attempt to overcome the many vicious foes that have infested the land. I've been following this one for quite a while now, and it's being developed by a very small, really passionate indie team, so if it looks like something that you might be interested in, be sure to wishlist it over on Steam to show your support.
I've dreamt of this. This place of fear and fury.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a single-player, third-person, over-the-shoulder action-adventure game set in a dark fantasy world inspired by Norse mythology. It is, of course, a continuation of Senua's journey through myth and madness from the first game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This game is being developed by Ninja Theory with a release year of 2024. It's coming out on PC and current-gen Xbox. In the first game, you follow Senua, a Celtic warrior into Viking hell, to rescue her dead lover's soul, and the game is well known for the intense immersive cinematic feel that it gives off with its gameplay. Hellblade 2, if anything, will be a step up from that, and actually the trailer that you're watching right now is gameplay. Expect lots of combat accompanied with puzzle solving, all mixed in with psychological horror. Hellblade is a game like no other, so keep an eye on this one, and I'm sure it'll end up being a hit.
I've faced tyrants and would-be gods. Seen friends lose life and limb.
Dragon Age Dreadwolf is a single-player third-person RPG. I wish I could say more, but there's actually a lot that we don't know about this one. And it's, of course, the fourth main installment in the Dragon Age franchise. Summer of 2024, we will be getting a full reveal. Dreadwolf is being developed by BioWare and published by EA, and it should be launching on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. I'd say at this point it could possibly be a Q4 2024 release, but it may also be 2025. Those of you who have played the previous Dragon Age games would assume that we'll be controlling a party of 4 once again, but honestly, we have no idea what it's going to be like this time around. But at the very least, the game should have a very heavy focus on story and characters that you meet. We do know that the game will take place in Tevinter, which is one of the oldest surviving human nations on the continent of Thedas, and we'll be visiting the magical capital city of Minrauthus. I think I pronounced that right. Looking forward to seeing some gameplay here. DA4 does have very big potential, but you never really know how a game's going to turn out when you got a publisher like EA.
It has never stopped. For thousands of years.
The Awakener Forgotten Oath is an upcoming single-player, third-person, open map, whatever that means, action RPG set in a fantasy world of medieval Europe. This is the third name change this game has gone through. It is being developed by Tanner Game and published by Gamera Game, and its release year is currently set at 2024, coming out for PC, and I think old and current gen PlayStation. It doesn't look like it's launching on Xbox. In this game, you'll be taking on the role of an adventurer who is embarking on a path of revenge and redemption, looking to become the Awakened One. As you can probably see, the overall game is giving off a bit of a Dragon's Dogma vibe here, and it's said to have been inspired by Dragon's Dogma. The Awakener Arisen will feature several classes such as the Fighter, Mage, Assassin, and perhaps a Ranger type class, and we also know that there will be advanced classes that you can branch into or morph into, such as the Warrior, Sword Dancer, Soldier, and Lancer for the Fighter class. It's not all about combat though in this game, as you will also be riding dragons and commanding airships as well. Greedfall 2 is a single-player, third-person action RPG, and it's a prequel to Greedfall, taking place 3 years before the events of the first game. It's being developed by Spiders, and it's set to launch in 2024 for PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. In this game, you'll be playing as a native of Tir Fredi and taken to the Old World, which is ravaged by war. Here, you'll need to regain your freedom and take control of your own destiny, what I would imagine will be a semi-open world experience if it's anything like the first one. You'll be creating your own character and finding allies to join your team, but you'll not only just be helping those allies with their quests, you'll also be equipping them the way that you want and taking control of them in combat. Greedfall 2 is said to be a deeper RPG experience than the first game, and our every choice will have an impact on our adventure. Diplomacy, manipulation, infiltration, combat, all of these will be viable paths for you to achieve your goals. Yet another fantasy title is a single-player, isometric, open-world fantasy RPG filled with absurd humor and bard music, and it takes on an old-school gameplay style. It's being developed by Atomic Wolf, and its release year is 2024, launching on PC. In this game, you'll be killing stinky orcs, dealing with arrogant elves, learning spells from hobo wizards, and stealing the ring from goblins, with the main quest being to kill the dragon. You'll be playing as the rogue, who uses a sword and bow, but apparently you can also kill a handsome knight in shining armor, steal his unicorn, and then become the chosen one by accident. You can also throw bottles at nasty goblins, rob the rich, don't give to the poor, and then see how it feels to get hit in the head by a bottle. This one's definitely an interesting one. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Off your ass! And you ain't paid your nugs yet?
Gothic, which is a Gothic 1 remake, is a single-player third-person action RPG set in a medieval fantasy world. The original Gothic game came out way back in 2001, so this game certainly has some nostalgia tied to it. The company behind this remake is Alchemia Interactive, with THQ Nordic as the publisher, and they're hoping for a late 2024 release for current-gen PlayStation and Xbox, and of course PC. In this game, the kingdom of Mirtana has been invaded by orcs, and the king needs the prisoners of the mines to mine magical ore so he can forge powerful weapons. But mutiny ends up turning the mines into a wild territory now controlled by the prisoners, and you'll be assuming the role of one of these prisoners. The devs say that this will be a faithful remake of the original, but with a modernized combat system that takes the basic premises of the original combat to the modern age. The original game was widely well received, so it's exciting to see this one being revived into more modern times.
Good boy.
By tomorrow.
On it. All right, Nix. Let's go get paid.
Star Wars Outlaws is a single-player, third-person, open-world action-adventure game set in the Star Wars universe, being developed by Massive Entertainment and published by Ubisoft, and currently has a release year of 2024. It should be launching on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. This is the first ever open-world Star Wars game, and it's set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. You'll be exploring distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. And you'll be doing this as Kay Vess, alongside her companion Nyx. And Kay Vess is a scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life. There will be plenty of narrative cinematics, lots of action, whether that be fighting with your blaster or looking to overcome challenges through the use of stealth and gadgets. You'll even be piloting your own ship and engaging in dogfights with the Empire and other foes. Get ready to become an outlaw in a thriving criminal world. Towers of Aghasba is a single and multiplayer third-person open-world fantasy game that could fit into a few genres, and it takes place on the sacred island of Aghasba. Being developed by Dreamlit, and it has a release year of 2024 for PC and PS5. This is an experience where players must balance between constructing bustling villages for their growing tribe and nurturing exotic ecosystems of otherworldly plant life, and it is said to be a narrative-driven adventure. There will be jaw-dropping vistas, bizarre creatures, and a ton of rich history to uncover on the island. Like I mentioned, it is multiplayer if you want it to be, and you can visit your friends' unique islands or invite everyone to join your island to explore, harvest, or just hang out together. But I'm not exactly sure how many players are allowed in a single world. This game certainly looks interesting, and it seems to blend Stardew Valley mechanics with a bit of Tears of the Kingdom. Visions of Mana is a single-player action RPG, and it's the first brand new entry in the mainline Mana series in over 15 years. Being developed by Square Enix, and it's supposed to come out sometime in 2024 for PC and current and last-gen Xbox and PlayStation. In this game, you'll be embarking on a new adventure with Val, a newly appointed Soul Guard, as he sets off on a journey across the world to accompany his friend on her pilgrimage to the Tree of Mana. Expect action-packed gameplay and the ability to explore a vibrant, semi-open 3D field. Be ready to encounter fearsome foes and unlikely allies along the way. The announcement trailer was just recently released, so that's all I got for you on this one.
My dad tells stories of a terrible war that happened across the sky. Heroes fought and died to give us a chance to start over.
Arc 2 is a single and multiplayer, cooperative, and PvP, if you so choose, third-person action-adventure survival game where you awake in a primal world filled with dinosaurs and humans struggling for dominance. Being developed by Studio Wildcard, and it's on track for a late 2024 early access release for PC and current-gen Xbox. The devs say that every aspect of the Arc series has now been rethought and redesigned in this sequel. Of course, expect to be surviving or attempting to survive in this dangerous primal land, defending yourself, gathering resources, riding dinosaurs, breeding dinosaurs, building bases. And if you play on a server with others, you can be doing this in co-op or perhaps competitively, killing each other. Some new features that Arc 2 will contain are an epic story with actor Vin Diesel taking on the role of Santiago, a father who seeks to protect his daughter. There will be revolutionary cross-platform modding this time around, along with support for modded unofficial servers. The combat is said to be Souls-like, emphasizing player skill-based action, and there will be advanced character traversal mechanics, like mantling, free climbing, parkour, sliding, and swinging. All right, now let's move into the TBAs and also the 2025 and beyond games, but do note that some of the TBAs may actually come out in 2024. Crimson Desert is a single-player, third-person, open-world action-adventure set in the unforgiving lands of Pywell. It is possible that it may have multiplayer functions, but as of now, I just look at it as a single-player game until we get more of an update. This game is being developed by Pearl Abyss, and we don't have a release year, but they did just drop a long gameplay trailer after being silent for a really long time, so I'm going to say 2024 or 2025 for this one. It should be coming out on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. Last-gen consoles were mentioned in the past, but that was a really long time ago, and support for those consoles has gone way down since then. Crimson Desert has been through some changes, as it was initially planned to be an MMO-like experience. That has since changed a few years ago to now be more of a narrative solo experience. In terms of the story, you'll be experiencing the untold tale of mercenaries struggling to survive, and your job will be to travel to the different regions, uniting them under your cause and recruiting allies. At this point in time, it appears as if players will be playing as a character named Macduff, the leader of this band of mercenaries. The gameplay looks pretty crazy, as we've seen horse hijacking, petting dogs, playing instruments, skydiving, dropkicking, horseback archery, climbing, hot air balloons, and much, much more.
It seems the old ways still hold some power.
Path of Exile 2 is an online multiplayer, but you will be able to do content solo or with a group of up to 6, isometric ARPG that takes place in a dark fantasy world. Being developed by Grinding Gear Games, and its closed beta starts on June 7th of 2024 with the full release TBA. We actually don't really know how the closed beta is going to work at the time of me recording this video, which is why I have this game so late in the video. Path of Exile's full launch will be on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. This game is set years after the original Path of Exile, and players will be returning to the world of Rayclast, seeking to end the corruption that is spreading. This is, of course, a dungeon crawler ARPG where you take on loads of enemies to seek out more powerful loot and build your character. There will be 12 character classes to choose from. These are just starting points, as you can combine skills from many classes together to create your ideal builds. This game will also feature a new skill gem system, a dual specialized passive skill tree, a 6-act campaign, and also over 100 endgame maps.
Tell of warlike Sparta.
Titan Quest II is a single and multiplayer isometric ARPG, and I should mention that the original Titan Quest remains to be many players' favorite ARPG of all time. Titan Quest II is being developed by Grimlore Games and published by THQ Nordic. We have no release date as of now. It's coming out for PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. In this game, you'll be setting out on an adventure worthy of myth that takes you from picturesque beaches to serene Greek temples to places where no mortals have ever ventured. You'll be able to customize your own hero and then form your own class by combining 2 masteries. Every item that you find serves a function, and every character class has many options when it comes to finding the perfect equipment. We'll leave it at that until we get a gameplay trailer to work off of.
I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica. Really spectacular, spared no expense. For this place, I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion.
Jurassic Park Survival is a single-player, first-person action adventure that takes place on the island Isla Nublar from the original Jurassic Park film. In fact, this game takes place just a day after the events in that film. It's being developed by Saber Interactive with a TBA release date, although from social media posts, I do think that this one will be coming out sooner than many of the other games in this section of the video, and it will be launching on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. In Jurassic Park Survival, you'll be assuming the role of Dr. Maya, who was unable to evacuate the island in this never-before-told story. You'll be exploring the park as well as the fully realized island, which is said to have reactive wildlife, dinosaurs, and other surprising threats. Ingenuity and stealth will be your best friend as you try to outlast some of the deadliest creatures to ever walk the earth. If you're wondering why the screen is now black, it's because posting the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer has apparently been getting a lot of creators' copyright strikes, not only for audio but also visuals. And I'm not going to risk that with a video like this, which takes me all week to make. Most of you should know what GTA is by now, and well, it's back and it's slotted for a 2025 release. I'll leave a link to the pretty cool trailer down below.
The world is filled with stories of legendary heroes and treacherous villains.
Fable, we know hardly anything about, and the second trailer released made me even more confused, but I would assume it is an RPG and it's set in the Greenlands of Albion. I'm showing you the first trailer in this video as I feel like it's probably a better representation of the actual game. This game is being developed by Playground Games and is being published by Xbox Game Studios, and of course it will be a PC and Xbox release, but TBA for the date or year. If it's anything like the original Fable games, expect a third-person action RPG in a lush, vibrant fantasy world that is narratively driven. And you most certainly should be able to embark on the path of good or evil, with each path affecting not only the world around you, but also the looks and appearance of your character. 2 trailers later, and we still got hardly anything to work with here. Star Wars Eclipse is an action-adventure game set in the High Republic era of the iconic Star Wars galaxy. We have not gotten any official information yet as to if it's single-player or multiplayer, but we do know that multiple characters can be played. The company behind this game is Quantic Dream, and the release date is TBA. All we know is that back in December of 21, the game was in its early stages of development. Star Wars Eclipse will feature a multiple-character branching narrative where you'll have the power to make choices with real consequences. You'll be assuming the role of a cast of all-new charismatic characters, each with their own stories, abilities, and roles to play. Every decision you make in this game with these characters is said to have dramatic repercussions on your journey. The trailer is certainly high quality. Let's hope that the game turns out to be that way as well. Light Survival is a single-player or up to 4-player co-op action horror roguelite set in an alternate 14th century. I didn't want to do roguelites in this video, but I mean, come on, this one's going to pull some eyes from my audience. The company behind this game is Hainier Studio, and it has a release date of TBA for PC. You and up to 3 friends are the ones who have been called upon by nations offering coin tasking you to destroy all the consuming blight. There will be a large selection of weapons and armor, and you'll have the ability to customize these aspects to best suit your playstyle. You'll also be pillaging loot, but the game tells us to remember that what has been found can once again be lost, and that is probably a hint to the game's roguelite nature, likely meaning when you die you'll be starting over, at least to some degree. Monster Hunter Wilds is a single and multiplayer co-op action RPG fighting game that is being developed by Capcom as a release year of 2025 for PC and current gen Xbox and PlayStation. Don't have much info on this game yet apart from what we can see in its recent announcement trailer. This is of course the latest installment in the Monster Hunter franchise, and I would expect it to follow the traditional style of hunt monsters, collect materials, and upgrade your armor and weapons. The game will also likely feature a main story and some quests, but most of that involves, of course, going out and hunting monsters. Going by the previous games, the online mode should let you hunt monsters with up to 4-player co-op.
She was not only brilliant, but courageous. To save her planet, she was willing to sacrifice everything.
Exodus is an upcoming single-player AAA science fiction action-adventure RPG, and actually I think this is the start of a new franchise. This game is being developed by Archetype Entertainment, which is a studio under Wizards of the Coast, and its release date is TBA, and it should be coming out on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. You, the player, will be playing as a traveler, humanity's last hope in a very hostile galaxy. Your destiny is to lead the travelers to the stars in the hunt to steal alien weapons and technology from the most powerful enemy in this universe, the Celestials. Exodus will feature a time dilation system where traveling on interstellar missions at the edge of light speed may only be days for you, but for your friends and loved ones back at home, entire lifetimes can pass. This forces players to make really tough choices and decisions with big consequences that will shape your world. This game will place an emphasis on exploring the stars, intense action combat, character progression, and also companions. Companions are a key to success, but it's up to you to search for potential allies and choose them wisely. This is definitely one of the biggest upcoming game announcements, and it seems to be ready to pull in some Mass Effect fans, and actually some of the devs are BioWare veterans. Light No Fire is a third-person, single and online multiplayer open-world fantasy game about adventure, building, survival, exploration, and role-playing. It's being developed by Hello Games, the studio behind No Man's Sky. Its release date is TBA, and it will likely launch on PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. This game is meant to bring the depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. We are told that we'll be able to meet other players from across the globe, build a life together, explore together, and survive together. This game features a truly open world with no boundaries at a scale that they say has never been attempted before, although the next game on my list here might argue that point. And yes, this game does utilize procedural generation technology. The world you'll be exploring is an ancient Earth that is thick with lore, mystery, and a constant fight for survival. Every mountain can be climbed, and below these mountains lies endless vistas, oceans, and continents that perhaps no others have seen. The gameplay does look pretty incredible and fun, and I gotta say, even though, there's procedural generation behind this, this game has made it into my top probably 5 of most anticipated games.
Hush your candy-striped lips, for nighttime comes.
The Wayward Realms is an upcoming single-player, first- and third-person open-world RPG set on a group of 100 realistically scaled islands, collectively known as the Archipelago. The company behind this game is Once Lost Games, with a release date of TBA. It's going to be a PC-first title. The devs behind Once Lost Games consist of a few of the big OGs from the Elder Scrolls Arena and Daggerfall, and if any of you remember those games, they were heavily based on procedural generation systems, which is also the basis for the Wayward Realms. The world in this game is going to be over 5,000 times the size of Skyrim's map, and it is said to be a constantly evolving experience with a story that reacts to your decisions. Daggerfall 2.0. There will be factions and kingdoms vying for influence and power, and if you earn positions of prominence, you can change the course of history. You will be creating your own character, your character's class will be of your own design, and you'll be able to customize skills and abilities to craft your own spells, potions, and enchantments. You'll also be able to do and kind of be whatever and whoever you want to be. You can be a socializing aristocrat, a thief entrenched in underworld conspiracies, or perhaps a scholar who dedicates their life to searching for artifacts. This game is also said to be heavy on the lore. Stormlight is a single-player, third-person, open-world RPG set in the dark fantasy medieval kingdom of Redreach. It's being developed by Kalechi Apakama. Its release date is TBA, and it will be coming out on PC and Xbox. In this game, you'll be playing the role of a young squire exploring a mysterious world full of chaos and conflict. You'll learn the power of the ancient runes, become a feared warrior, or take part in large-scale events that will shape the future of Redreach. The game is said to have multiple endings to all quest lines and a rich character progression system. You will be able to mold your character into several different types of builds, and the game will offer a wide range of spells, weapons, and equipment to choose from. There will also be a companion system where you can bring allies with you on your travels to fight alongside you. This one kind of gives me a similar feeling to Forsaken Realms Vahrin's Call, which is also a very small indie project. You can tell the devs behind some of these games are making them with true passion. Where the Winds Meet is an upcoming single-player action, somewhat sandbox-type RPG set during the twilight of the Ten Kingdoms period in China. Being developed by Everstone Studio for PC, but we don't have a release date yet, but they did say that there will be an open beta at some point. In this game, you'll be taking on the role of a wandering swordsman who must choose whether to follow his heart and mind and fight for justice, choose to safeguard the Empire, which will lead to his kind fading from prominence, or choose to stick to the moral code of chivalry and use his skills against laws and rules to protect the innocent. This game will feature an open-ended, somewhat sandbox RPG experience where players can explore in unprecedented ways. It's even said that you can choose to go down the routes of being a doctor saving lives in this chaotic world, or perhaps play the role of a merchant accumulating wealth. Combat, of course, plays a key role in this game with Wuxia skill, attacks, and counterattacks. You'll have the freedom to define your own combat style. And also expect lots of wall running, running on water, climbing, and even acupuncture is listed in the game's features. There's a lot going on with the description of this game, but the unparalleled freedom that Everstone is advertising here, tied to this RPG experience, certainly does sound interesting. Kingdom Hearts 4 is a third-person single-player action RPG and the 15th installment in the Kingdom Hearts series, beginning the Lost Master story arc. Being developed by Square Enix and Creative Business Unit, with a TBA release date for PC and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation. Kingdom Hearts 4 takes place after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, as people have been looking for Sora for a year since he disappeared. Sora will retain parkour elements and Keyblade transformations from Kingdom Hearts 3, with a new addition, his Keyblade turning into a grappling hook. I don't really know hardly anything about Kingdom Hearts, so it's hard for me to talk about this game too much, but I'm definitely interested in this series now, and will certainly be keeping an eye on 4. Unawake is a single-player first-person melee action adventure set in a dystopian apocalypse-looking setting. The company behind this game is Reality Arts Studio, and its release date is TBA for PC. The idea behind the story is that there was an archaeological discovery on the ground of an ancient city, and you, the player, have trained for the sole purpose of entering into the unknown. In this new world, it will define everything that you know, and you'll find yourself mixed with an eternal war between the forces of heaven and hell. This game features breathtaking environments, fast and tactical first-person combat. You'll have experience-based character and skill progression with more than 20 skills to customize, and a variety of different weapons to choose from swords to bows, and you can even customize your weapons with elemental effects and buffs. This game will have story-based game progression that blends sci-fi with history and dark fantasy. and you, the player, will be the key to humanity's survival.
We begin by hearing an old, wise-sounding voice, and we see a quiet, peaceful setting.
The Outer Worlds 2 is an upcoming, likely first-person single-player shooter RPG, and it will be Obsidian Entertainment's sequel to its well-received Outer Worlds from 2019. The announcement trailer didn't reveal much here, so mostly everything is speculation as of now. We do know that it will be launching on Xbox and PC, but for a release date, I got nothing for you. If it's anything like the first game, you should expect a game where you'll be choosing your character's build, meeting companions and learning their stories, and experiencing a story being told through branching dialogues with multiple possible endings. We do not know where this game will be set, but we do know that it will be moving away from the first game's setting and into a new star system with a new crew. Weirdsong is an occult, historical, fantasy open-world RPG set in a fictionalized Portugal in the Middle Ages. We don't really have much on this game at this time, but it's being developed by Something Wicked, which is a brand new studio comprised of Obsidian, BioWare, and Bethesda creative development staff. Release date is TBA and no idea what it will be launching on. This is going to be a dark fantasy story where players will be challenged to question reality and the choices they make. Weirdsong sets to expand, question, and redefine aspects of what makes up the current role-playing genre. The devs even go as far as saying that this will be the next evolution of open-world RPGs. So I guess the goal with creating this studio was for these ambitious, experienced devs to be able to utilize their independent and creative autonomy. This is certainly exciting to hear. Hopefully we can get an update soon to get an idea as to what they have planned.
My daughter, a new threat comes to our shores, and I must call you home.
Wonder Woman is a single-player, third-person, open-world action game that will introduce an original story set in the DC universe. Being developed by Monolith Productions, which are the devs behind the Middle-earth games. We do not have a release date yet, and we also don't know what platforms this game will be releasing on, but we can probably guess PC, current-gen PlayStation, and Xbox. What we do know is that the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor will be returning, and it'll be a big part of the Wonder Woman game, and will certainly make it unique. For those who are unfamiliar, the Nemesis system is a complicated gameplay system that establishes a web of relationships between the player and notable enemy captains. I'll leave it at that until we get more information, but I do want to quickly mention, while on the topic of superheroes, we also have Wolverine in production, which will probably be a PS5 exclusive. Wolverine is being developed by Insomniac, the company who just released the highly successful Spider-Man 2. And also Blade was recently announced for PC and Xbox. It's being developed by Hammerhead. We have no release date for either of those games as of right now. Death Stranding 2, although the title is a working title, will be a single-player third-person action-adventure game that will likely be some sort of sequel to the first game, as there are some really important returning characters. This game is of course being developed by legendary game developer Hideo Kojima and his studio Kojima Productions, but we don't have a current release date. I would imagine that this one will be a PlayStation exclusive at launch, and then later make its way to PC, but we do need more concrete info. A lot of people call Death Stranding, the first game, a walking simulator. I gotta say, it kinda is, but in my opinion, it was a really epic, emotional, immersive walking simulator with a very, very, very deep, mind-bending story, and also combat to go along with it. I try to keep my opinion off of these types of videos for the most part, but Death Stranding was an incredible experience for myself, so I'm really excited to see DS2 in production. This is actually game number 52, so I clickbaited you, but you're damn straight, I can't do one of these videos without bringing up the Elder Scrolls 6. Test 6 is likely going to be a single-player first-person RPG that is of course being developed by Bethesda Game Studios. Its release date is TBA and likely still far off in the future, but Bethesda did finish 1.0 Starfield now, so perhaps we may start getting some Elder Scrolls news. You can expect this to be a PC and current-gen Xbox release, or I guess maybe even next-gen. It seems likely that this game will take place in the Hammerfell and High Rock provinces on the famed continent of Tamriel. And since we're already a couple over 50, let me rapid-fire off a few more quick ones for you. The Witcher 4, but actually Project Polaris, has been confirmed to be in production, although we don't really know anything about it. CDPR is also working on Project Canis Majoris, which is a remake of the classic Witcher 1 from 2007. And oh yeah, there's also a Project Sirius, which is a multiplayer Witcher game. I wouldn't get too excited about that one just yet though, as it may very well be a mobile game. Can't leave out Mass Effect 5, of which we recently got a very short teaser trailer. Once we get a full trailer, I'll be willing to talk about this one more, but it's likely still very far off from now. I should also mention the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC for Elden Ring, which is still shrouded in mystery at the time of this recording, but it should be coming at some point. And I'm going to end the video giving 3 indie games a quick mention here. Archaea Lund is a single-player, open-world, first-person, party-based tactical RPG that seeks to combine first-person gameplay exploration with isometric turn-based tactical combat. Interesting concept, and I gotta say, this game is giving off a bit of a Morrowind vibe. If all goes as planned, this one may enter early access on January 8th, 2024 on Steam. Sovereign Syndicate is a Victorian steampunk open-world CRPG that uses tarot cards instead of dice. It releases on January 15th, 2024 for PC on Steam. You'll get to play as 3 characters in this game, each with their own skills and motivations. You get to customize your characters with narrative choices to unlock new tarot cards. And last on the list is Nazralath, The Fallen World, which is an upcoming story-driven third-person action-adventure with RPG elements. It focuses on a compelling narrative where the choices that you make will irreversibly shape your journey through this broken world. We have now passed the hour mark, and we're several past 50 games. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, let me know down below in the video comments. I really appreciate you, and I'll probably be covering several of these games throughout the year, so consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. I'll catch you all on the next one.